Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. I'm your host, the crypto coach, Blockchain Wayne. Today we're joined by Pico from Pundi X Labs. Pico, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Wayne. It's very nice to be here.
Absolutely, yes. I've been looking forward to this one. As I told you in person, we met in Singapore at Token 2049, and I followed Pundi X for quite a while, many years ago. Really love what Pundi X offered to merchants that wanted to accept crypto. So we'll dive in. I definitely want to catch up and let everybody know what Pundi X is doing and what you all have done over the years. But before we jump into that, Pico, can you tell us a little bit about your background and then also what you do at Pundi X?
Sure. So my background is actually I come from a PR background, and I work mostly for technology for most about 15 years, and and then I moved to a browser company called Opera Software, and then I worked there for about 8 years. Then I have been a communication head, and then I know the founder, which is Zach, from in Opera Software. And
Mhm.
then one day, Zach contacted me out of the blue that, hey, Peko, and I have a startup, and I think and what and I want to know whether you're interested to join. And at that time, he's planning to launch the product for crypto, and then he is also trying to push the business for crypto payment. And that was 7 years ago. So at that moment, I don't know about Bitcoin, about cryptocurrency. And then I was like, are you joking? So, because I have absolutely no idea of what it is. But after I heard about the technology background and how you can have the ownership of your assets, and then I thought this could be very revolutionary. So I joined the company and then I participated ICO to help the company to raise the fund. And then since then, I officially joined the company and then start building since then. So it's been 7 years, and it's quite a long time in terms of crypto journey. And a lot of projects may just you walk away or they just die. And also for a lot of startups, passing through the first 5 years is very difficult. But we made it, especially in this technology, like changing a lot. Like the evolving of the technology is really huge, especially in crypto. It's like 24/7. So yes, we are here, and I believe that there is a room to grow. So that's why we are still here to build. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. 7 years is a very long time in crypto, in the cryptocurrency world.
yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a
like
life.
people say, we are like a grandma or granddad grade of the project. So yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so Pundi X, just so those that don't know what Pundi X is and what you all do over there, can you give an explanation of kind of Pundi X's current model? Like I know Pundi X has done several things over the years, but someone's looking at Pundi X today. Peiko, how would you describe what Pundi X does?
Yeah, I think in one word is that Pundi X is enable merchants to accept cryptocurrency as a payment and also sell cryptocurrency. So our tagline is that buying and selling crypto is just like as easy as buying a bottle of water. So this is how we introduce ourselves. And I think with all these years passed by, and our technology has been changed over the time. So at the beginning, possibly when the time you know about us, we have launched the XPOS, XWallet, Express Card, and those are the tools actually working on a custodial platform, which is centralized. Because at that time, it's very early stage. It's only Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's no other layer one blockchain, no layer two at all. So if you want the crypto to transact really fast, and then you have to do it on a centralized platform. And when the time passed by, and when the layer two, layer one, other alternative network coming up, and we start supporting the other layer 1 blockchain as well as Lightning Network, as well as the layer 2 as well. And our transaction move from centralized to decentralized. So the main purpose is that the more cryptocurrency that transaction that can be done in the retail space, the better, because this is what the crypto adoption should be. So this is also our mission as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's important because I think all the other solutions I've seen are kind of like they're not really like a cryptocurrency payment provider where it's like where I've got a card I have to top up with crypto and then spend that card, sell the crypto to top up. So through what Pundi X offers, you're able to spend crypto. So is it right to say that Pundi X doesn't actually custody the crypto at all? Is it just mainly like a payment provider, payment processor?
Yeah, I think you asked a very, very good question. So, you have seen a lot of crypto card or crypto credit card, and the user has to convert from crypto to fiat, and then to spend with the terminal with the fiat, right? So for
Mm.
Pundi X, we are doing on-chain crypto to crypto. So if you spend with your private wallet, and then the merchant will receive actually stablecoin. So the reason that it receives stablecoin is to mitigate the risk of the
Mm.
Bitcoin volatility or other crypto volatility. So we do a instant settlement, stablecoin settlement for them. So in the current suites of the products, there's some part of it that we need to custody the merchant's fund so that we can do the conversion or settlement immediately into stablecoin, because there's no available technology right now that you can do an instant swap. So if you do an instant swap and then you have you will need to have the slippage, and most of the merchant, they don't know about the percentage of slippage. So
Yeah.
that's our roles come in. But however, with the technology improve, I think for us to be in a custodial role can be changed to non-custodial, which is the merchant can directly connect with their wallet, and also to receive payment from the other customer and then do the swap by themselves. So with the blockchain technology improve, then we will be able to do more and more on-chain transaction, and then to transfer the custodian role to the merchants themselves. Because nowadays the merchant is more knowledgeable about crypto, which is so much different than seven
Yeah.
years ago. Because 7 years ago, when you talk about crypto, and then the merchant's like, what's that? And then when I demo the XPOS machines, the terminal, and then they say, okay, I can see Bitcoin and ETH. I don't know what it is. And then they will ask a question, what about Japanese dollar? What about US dollar? So at so now it's very, very different. And the merchant will care, okay, can I just use my own private wallet to connect to your platform so that I can receive, and then to come up with a dashboard with all the transaction that's showing on the same place. So they want this type of features. So you will see the differences for the merchants that evolve over the time.
Okay. Yeah. So I was curious about that in those early days of being able to, trying to work with merchants. Your team probably had to do a lot of education, right? A lot of just not just how to accept crypto, but from the basics. What is this? What is a wallet? All the different things. Why
Yeah,
people
usually it
would
takes like two
say,
to 3 hours. And then you have to follow up, and then for several times. And then the onboarding time will possibly 6 months. But now
yeah,
it's much more shorter. and they can actually they can find out by themselves. We produce a lot of videos, and then they can always come back to review, to look into. But it's save a lot of time because people know crypto right now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I know that, and I've over the years, I've also worked helping educate people and consult with businesses and explain to people I know that had businesses why they should accept cryptocurrency. And it was always that hurdle where it was like nobody was really asking to pay with crypto.
Yes.
And I would always tell the merchant, hey, it's kind of like when you think about, I know we have a saying here, what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? You got to figure out which one's first. So people aren't going to try to spend crypto until they know that businesses accept it. So the business, whether people are asking you or not to pay with Bitcoin or other stuff, there probably are more people that would want to shop with you if you offered it as a solution to them, and have it available, and then you may see more and more. But you're right. I mean, definitely the awareness is spreading. A lot more people aware of it. So what? Obviously, right now, I think we talked offline before we started recording, and there's a lot of complications in terms of having Pundi X available in the U.S. Right? Every state has different laws and regulations, and then you have federal regulations. So right now, you don't have any merchants that are using Pundi X in the U.S. Right?
Now, before that, we have a bunch of merchants using Pundi X
Yeah.
export system, but after the crypto laws kicked in, and then each state has different regulations, so we request our because we have a distributor in the states, and he can only operate in Texas and I think in the states whereby the crypto law is very friendly,
Yeah.
and then there are a lot of different requirements that happen, and then it become very difficult for him to operate the network. So yes, the regulation part is very difficult for the crypto operator because especially in US, and
Yeah.
the definition is different, and yeah, we have to spend a lot of like the compliant costs to make it happen. So in that case, we think that maybe US is not the most our priority market because you're spending more than you earn.
Right.
So it doesn't make sense in terms of business. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So those of you that are listening to this from the U.S., I'm like you. We want to be able to utilize Pundi X here. So we've got to do our part. Reach out to your elected officials that are making the laws and regulations, especially your the federal laws that could supersede the state laws, and have some kind of clarity to simplify the process, allow this to come in. So that's our part. If you're listening to that, we've got to do our part better to get better clarity in terms of regulations, because it's not just Pundi X, right? There's so many companies right now that offer great products, great solutions, different solutions that we can't utilize here. So it's important to do that. And we do have listeners in other countries. So, Pico, where have you seen the biggest adoption in terms of Pundi X use, payments being processed with crypto?
Right. Yeah. So I think in the first 3 years, we have been trying to push our product in different countries, and we ship Xbox devices to over 30 countries in the world. And then we find that actually for those countries which has a devaluating fiat currency against US dollar, and as well as the inflation, would have the biggest needs for crypto. So you can obviously see the transaction is relatively higher, and we don't need to do any advertisement to encourage people to spend crypto. People have the cryptocurrency, and then they go to the store to spend, or they go to the store to exchange. So I think for the countries whereby they have the most active crypto activities, including Turkey, South Africa, and also Argentina,
Mm,
and
yeah.
yeah, those type of country, and also the country whereby they provide a very good legal structure, like making crypto as a legal tender,
Mm,
and we have ones to. deployed in Prospera, Honduras, and at that place, people were more familiar with crypto, and then they spend crypto all the time. So I think that would be something combination. First of all, the country has a very weak national currency
Mm.
and inflation, and then the second is that have a very good friendly policy for crypto because sometimes from the top down it's easier to push crypto, and then people get educated by what the government has said. So they learn about crypto, they get familiar with crypto, and then they start to use crypto so that you can see the application that people started to spend crypto because they own the crypto already. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell people all the time the easiest way to learn something is to actually do it, right? To actually
Mm-hmm.
do it. So when people get an opportunity to hold crypto, buy crypto, exchange it, and even pay with it, that's a learning process for them, right? So those countries and those areas are going to be way further advanced. So when I think about the top, when I saw a report come out recently, and it was kind of a second edition of like the countries that have adopted crypto the most in terms of buying, potentially usage. I forgot all the factors, but I know like India and Turkey were two that were in there. Are those places where Pundi X operates as well?
We don't operate in India. I think maybe because at that time, the central bank in India they banned crypto,
Yeah,
and
right.
then we thought maybe it's too risky to operate there.
Absolutely.
So we deploy. I think for the first 3 years, we deploy the products anywhere, because the regulation hasn't come in, and then we got organic request on they want to have this device. I think it's mostly for early adopter to see how it goes because people want crypto because they have crypto and then they want to push the adoption. Yeah. So that was the prime period. And then the regulation comes in, and then we started to implement different procedures. And then you can see the demand was actually we still have the incoming requests, but when we were asking, okay, do you have a license? Do you have any knowledge of dealing with AML? And it's difficult. So for the startups, especially a lot of people who want to push crypto adoption, they are startups. So
Mhm.
they don't have the experience of compliance. But now with all the regulation in place, and there are a lot of Web2 company, and especially for banks, institutions, payment service provider, they are starting to adopt crypto, which is really good because they can easily to um, actually face or deal with those compliance issues. For them, it's very easy, and it's easier for them to push the adoption. So that's why we are kind of like pivot our product to more like an enterprise grade product, and people who can white label our product to use it because we already set up a structure of different layer.
Mhm.
So for the payment gateway provider, and they can easily adopt this structure and also manage the fund by themselves, and they can operate easily through our system.
That's really good because then they have a better understanding of everything that's happening in their area and all the requirements of their area. So they would
Yeah,
just
and also they have the
good solution.
infrastructure like cloud infrastructure, and then they just set up another system space for that, and then it's ready to go.
Okay. Okay. Good stuff. Yeah, definitely. This is an important topic for me. I love to focus on the idea of crypto as more than just speculative investment, and people are just buying crypto. There's people all over the world, and as you mentioned, like the countries that have had currency issues or banking issues, like they are adopting this way faster because they have had issues, and I think that's the problem with some countries where maybe the banking structure isn't perfect, but we haven't experienced personally many issues with our money yet, to like big enough to where it's like I need this to be able to spend day to day. So I think that's the differing views we see in the world, where some countries it's more of a speculative investment, and for most people, right? Some of us understand the real reason why this is important, and then countries where people have seen the issues, or like you mentioned, yeah, Bitcoin has been made legal tender. Do you have any kind of a presence in El Salvador?
Uh, we do have previously we have a distributor in El Salvador, and at the I think in this country situation is mostly government dominant. So for example, they already have the app to operate. I think it's it's a government assigned app, and then
True.
yeah, we have all those devices shipped there, but they our operator he needs to go through different business model evaluation, and also to because they are also new to the crypto, they need a compliant officer to help them to comply first. So it's been a long adoption time for them. So far, the adoption is still not coming in, but I think in the country there are different the type of app that you can use, and I think for us we just wait for this operator to come up with a preparation for that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's interesting to hear like this whole conversation in terms of to most people think it's just easy. Why can't you just go in and have merchants start accepting crypto?
No,
And
no, it's not that easy.
well, it's a wide
Yeah.
range of some countries or states like where we are. They don't have clear regulations, or there's a different regulation for every state. But then you look at countries like El Salvador, which to most of us would think, oh, that's a no brainer. But you're right. I remember hearing it's more of a state run wallet and state run system, and so even though they've made Bitcoin legal tender, people can spend it to come in as to come in as someone like Pundi X or one of your partners that's going to white label. You have to have a great understanding or clarity of what you can do still, even though Bitcoin is legal tender there. So
Yeah,
it's
in terms of the state run, is that giving them little market share so that because the citizen might just use the state run apps and then to, do the transactions within a certain network. So for us, our machines not only accept Bitcoin but also accept other crypto like ETH, USDT, all that. So it become more complicated in that sense. So different country will have different issue, even though you see that hey, it should be no brainer to enter, but actually there are a lot of different work that you need to prepare for that.
absolutely, yep, yep, definitely a lot. I appreciate what Pundi X is doing to push forward. I know it's not easy, and you're right. A lot of companies that have tried have given up over the years. I mean, 7 years is a long time in the crypto space. We've seen many companies come and go, and it's because it's not easy, right? It's not just an easy, oh, here's our stuff, put it in. Whereas if you're a merchant trying to accept trying to get a company to accept credit cards, it's a lot easier, right? They've
Yes, it
experienced massive
is.
adoption of credit cards, but crypto payments, you Pundi X is doing their part to help push forward user adoption. So we definitely appreciate that. What do you see, Pico? And maybe this is kind of your own opinion, but I would think for me, like mass user adoption for crypto, where we're in a good space, is not. It's not necessarily saying 100% of people are all using cryptocurrency all over the world, but I think when we get to a point where it's about 25% of global transactions are being paid in crypto, what do you think? Your personal opinion? When do you think we'll see that in terms of time? Do you think that's in the
Right.
next 1 to 2 years, 3 to 5, or further out?
Yeah, I think the adoption will comes into the infrastructure wise. So if different country may have different years to come, and because of their own economic situation and also the currency policy, the monetary policy that they have. So for those countries that has relatively friendly policy or regulation, that definitely they pick up the adoption faster. And I always think that this is really a transition period for all of us because now we have crypto and also we have fiat. And you got to have a point to use fiat because you're living in a country that they see their fiat is the national currency, that you actually have a lot of regulation around it. So so I think for those who can adopt crypto, I mean, like you say, in 20 or 25%, that could be maybe the fastest would be 5 years because we can see right now the crypto adoption in certain country maybe over 10%, and that was 7 years passing by. From what I know is like below 1% and now above 10%. So I think in some country that would have achieved 25% earlier, maybe in the next 5 years. Yeah.
I figure with someone that has clarity or has insight into how each company, not company, each country is currently operating. There's all these hurdles that you have to overcome in different ones. So appreciate the insight. I know it's just a guess. So nobody, it's not financial advice. It's just kind of a guess here, but I appreciate you answering that one. And Peiko, as we start to wrap up, I'd love for people to be able to follow Pundi X, follow what you all are doing, and keep up with all the updates. So can you let everybody know where they can follow you and Pundi X on socials and also the website?
Yes, sure. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share Pundi X. And you can follow Pundi X through x.com. We have a handle called Pundi X Labs. So you can just key in the passwords, the keywords, and then you will see us showing up. And recently we have launched our AI initiative, which is dealing with data for AI. So we thought that the data would be the main issues to push the AI adoption. And a lot of data actually owned by like people like us. And then the big companies sell our data to other big company to train their AI. So we think that we can leverage the blockchain network characteristics so that people can truly own their ownership of the data, and then they can sell the data to whoever that they want. So I think blockchain is a very, very good platform for that. And this is our next initiative, so you guys can also follow us in Pundi AI, which is we separate this initiative to another social media account. If you know about all this stuff, and then you can go to follow this account as well.
Oh, that's great to know. I wasn't even aware of that, so I'm definitely going to jump in and follow those as soon as we're done with this podcast. So, it's been a pleasure having you on today. Any final words before we wrap up?
I think for right now, there are a lot of exciting things happening in the crypto world, and the Web2 company institution coming in certainly will play a lot of adoption role further on. And then I think this is inevitable, and the role, if our world need more crypto adoption, they should play a part in this. And I'm glad that they are moving to Web3 as well. Recently, PayPal also announced that they can allow the merchants to buy and sell crypto, which is exactly what we promote like 7 years ago. Now they are doing it. So I'm super excited about this development. It means that our vision is actually correct at the beginning. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, and also everyone listening. Remember my call out. If you don't have a lot of merchants around you that accept crypto, chances are it's probably a regulation issue. And so talk to your elected officials and government officials, and if you need to, it's probably an educational process. I know where I live, I recently spoke to some government officials, and they didn't really have a clue, and so we've set up a time to sit down and educate them. We got to get to the people that are making the laws. So, Pico, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for sharing what Pundi X is doing to move cryptocurrency adoption forward and smooth out the process of accepting people being able to pay and accept crypto if they're a merchant, and also buy and sell as well. So thanks again, and thanks everyone for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.
Thank you so much for having me, Wen.